Hello, hello, hello. How are we? It's time for Hone Your Speaker Skills, our Tuesday segment on Your Words Have Power. So what are we talking about today? Well, we're in July. We're in the theme of belonging. So what does it mean to belong to your community? Because as speakers, we require a following. You need an audience, don't you? Otherwise, what are you doing? Flapping your gums? Nobody's listening. So an audience is required. How are you going to engender trust in your followers? And why is it important? Well, think about it. Your audience are investing time and maybe money as well, let's hope so, the money in to listen to you. So why is it important that they trust you? Well, we all like to buy from people we know, like, and trust. If there's trust is missing, then no, not going there. So why is that important then for you as a speaker to establish this trust? Because you want to engender a following, getting a community around you and around your message. Because having a following, having people who are fans who will follow you, will stand you in good stead for when it comes to being on stage in front of other people, recommending you. Somebody who has been to one of your presentations and says to an event manager who's looking for somebody, oh, you need to go and talk to Wendy. You need to go and talk to Katana. You need to go and talk to Randy. Because they've heard you speak and they trust you and they are following you. So how do we do it? Engendering this sense of trust. And there are 4 questions that Jenny Vaz, my brilliant business partner, has come up with in her Badass Leaders program. And we're going to unpack those over the next few weeks. The first one is, are they like me? Can I trust them? Are they like me? Now, what do I mean by that? Well, whenever we meet with somebody, the first thing we do is ask ourselves subconsciously, they like me? Can I trust them? What are we looking for when we're looking for somebody that's like us? Some of us approach it from, oh, that's like me, that's like me, that's like me. Let's get involved with them a bit more. Some of us approach it from the, that's different, that's different, that's different. I'm not so sure. Let me give you some examples. If I walk into a room and I hear a Scottish accent, immediately my ears prick up, because at one time I feel, oh, I'm safe, I'm home, I ken these folk, I ken I'm going to be understood and I'm going to understand them because there's a shared culture, a shared language. There's a sense of relief, release, belonging. But also there's a sense of excitement. Where are they from? How long have they been wherever they are? Because if I'm not in Scotland, I want to know where they are. All about that. So there's a sense of excitement and there's a sense of calm at the same time, because there are things that are like me and things that I want to know more about. Are they like me? So how do we engender that in our communities? Well, there are 3 things I would suggest that we look at. The first one is values. What are the values that you are extolling in your community? Values, I mean, the definition I'm working from is, these are emotional states that you want to experience on a regular basis, consistently. And that can be whether you're talking about personal values, your business values, your values as a speaker, your community values. What are those emotions that you want to consistently experience? And those are going to be your values. The example I have for our Your Words Have Power here, sorry, that way, Your Words Have Power, is that we have three values that we go for, which are authenticity, safe space, and champion. Now, you may be thinking, what on earth is she on about? Well, if you've been to Your Words Have Power, you'll have an idea of what I mean. Being a speaker, particularly on our platform, our speakers have a message, they have a story to share. And that can get you into a vulnerable space. So one of the things that we model and we have as our value is a safe space. Being a safe space is one thing that our speakers really appreciate, because they can then go from that vulnerability, they can then share in that space. What about the first one I mentioned, which was authenticity? Well, if you're in a safe space, you feel as though you can be your authentic self. You can share from the heart. You can be vulnerable. And that level of vulnerability gives an indication of your connection with your story and why it is important for you to share it. Therein lies your authenticity. Particularly as most of our speakers have lived experience. They're not talking from some theoretical perspective. They've been there. They've been in the dirt and the grime, and they've come up the other side. And they're sharing their wisdom with you, because they know that within Your Words Have Power, it's a safe space from which to be vulnerable and show their authenticity. Our third value is around being a champion. Now, this pulls in our audience. We don't have an audience. We have speaker champions, because again, as speakers, they know that the audience, the speaker champions, are there to champion them. They will give them feedback, constructive feedback on what works, what could do with some work, and something, a little bit of a tweak that would make their presentation, either the content or the delivery, or both, even better. So those are speaker champions. So those are our values for Your Words Have Power. Authenticity, safe space, champion. Those are our values. Where do standards come in then? Because that's the second area to look at. Well, standards are specific behaviours, outcomes that come as a result of living from your values. So the standards that we have, again, for Your Words Have Power, are for our speakers. They rock up for 10 minutes. They are speaking only for 10 minutes, and they know that, because any more than that, and they get muted. We're modelling for them timekeeping, so that on a bigger stage, when there are lots of people there, as there are with Your Words Have Power, they're not impacting on somebody else's speaker time. And they're also allowing the event manager to keep to time. So modelling good timing. We also have our speakers coming in being able to share their message without the need for tech. So there's no slides or anything like that to consider. It's them authentically, vulnerably sharing their story with the audience. We also ask them to have a bio, publicity pictures, good shots. We ask them to do a 60-second video ahead of time, so that I can get to know them, particularly if they are not people I know well, so that we can introduce them, we can do the promotional work around it. That's where we've been coming from, and our speakers are required to follow these standards. Do the promotion as well for themselves, because it's their opportunity to bring in their champions. 3 of our standards for our speakers. What about our speaker champions? Well, they have standards as well. We're expecting them to turn up and be present, to be focused, and to be open for what information is coming to them. And then within 24 hours to fill out our survey form to champion our speakers. As I said, giving them feedback on what works, what needs work, and how they can improve. Our speaker champions also are there to support our speakers on our Facebook group, which you're a member of if you're watching this. We also champion each other. On a Thursday, we have our announce to the world what events are you doing. So if you have a speaking gig coming up, you share it with us and we can all go, yes, great, how did it go? Thinking of you. And you can give us feedback as to how it went. Now, if it's in our locality and it's a physical one that we can get to, or it's an online one that we can get to, we're there to champion you. So can you see standards for our community are laid out? We are engendering trust because you know what's expected from both speakers and speaker champions. Now, those standards, those behaviours can be something that you also model, and I would suggest you as a speaker do. You lay it out clearly for your community. What are your values in this community? What are your standards in your community? And whether they can trust you is whether you're modeling them, huh? And are you clearly expressing them? That brings us on to the third point, the language, how to create that sense of belonging within your community. Is around the language you use. Do you have a special phrase, a buzz phrase, a title, if you will, for your community members? Now, you've heard me say already that we have speaker champions. We don't have an audience. Because, as I said, the expectation for our audience, let's backtrack. Audience for me has an energy of, oh, let's sit back and take this in, and it might go over my head because I might be looking at something else. No, our speaker champions know that there's the expectation. I'm going back to the standards again. They're going to turn up, they're going to have their cameras on, they're going to be listening, they're going to be attentive. There's language around that, and we explain that. That's part of being in the group. So do you have language specifically to bring people into your community, have that sense of belonging? Have you come across, what's his name? Russell Brunson, the ClickFunnels guy, because his community are known as funnel hackers. So he's coined that phrase for his community, and we've coined speaker champions for our community. So think about a different phrase, a title, and some language that can commonly unite your group for that sense of belonging. So when you combine the values, the standards, the language, clearly articulated in your group, you encourage people in. There's that sense of belonging. And if there's a sense of belonging because they feel they can trust you, job done. One of the 4 trust questions dealt with, because you are showing through your values, your standards, and your language that they can trust you. So what about your following? You as a speaker, do you have a community? Have you got these values, standards, language clearly articulated? And are you living those yourself? I'll leave that with you to consider and action if you haven't already. See you next week. Bye from me.